Okay, hello everybody. So I decided that I'm going to do just like a quick little video on doing maintenance on Alabaster. That's the name of my beautiful Epiphone over there. This is the guitar that I use every day, so my strings are really bad and I need to redo them. And I blow that off way past when you're supposed to do that. So I decided, every time I change my strings out, I decided to try a different set of strings. So this time I'm going with Elixir. I've used Diodario, and I have used Ernie Ball Slinky, which are fine. I just want to have a chance to try out all the different strings, and you're supposed to change your strings if you play every day, like once a month, roughly, give or take, and it's been like a year and a half since I changed my strings. I can always tell when they're getting really bad because Rocksmith will stop picking them up. Like it'll just be like missed, and I'm like, I didn't miss any of that. What are you talking about? So it was time. But that being said, I wipe my guitar down every single time that I play, but it still gets dirty and dusty. So like, let's see if I can show you. Like you get crud. You can't really tell. You can kind of tell. If you look down in there, you'll see all this, like, it's kind of hard to see because you're reflecting my curtains. There's all this weird dusty gunk down in there, and it gets around in here and under here, and just in general, it gets like fingerprinty. It actually looks very clean right now because of the shine, because I wipe it down, but it's not. There you go. You can see some crud. See the crud? Crud. So I'm going to show you like what I do, relatively speaking, which basically I do. So I'll use like a Viva paper towel because it's soft, which are these guys. I don't have the wrapper because I already took it off. Viva is the brand because it's soft. I actually keep a old, totally cotton, technically was a baby diaper. That's what I wipe it down with every day. This needs to be washed also because after after you've wiped your hand oils and stuff off of it so many times, it gets dirty. So that being said, I'll wash that today too. But yeah, so what I do is I wipe it down with a Viva paper towel. If something's really dirty, like around where the frets are not the frets, but the frets could be that dirty. Mine never get that dirty because I wipe them down every time, but if they were really dirty, you could do this, but be careful because you don't want to dry your wood out really bad. But around my pickups and down around the bridge and everything, I just use some little, sorry, dropping things, Q-tips and little rubbing alcohol because it won't get wet, it'll dry fast. And then normally if I change my strings and I am not going to be cleaning the guitar, I alternate taking the strings on and off. Just to keep tension even. I don't know if it matters or not, but it feels like it should, so that's what I do. But today, since I'm going to be cleaning the whole thing, I'm going to take them all off, and then I will wipe down the fretboard with some boiled linseed oil afterwards. That re-oils the fretboard, and since I'm the type of person that wipes down my fretboard and the whole guitar after every single use, it's not getting a lot of finger oil, which is normally what keeps the oil in the wood. So I just figured I'd give everybody a little what I do. I worked at a guitar shop for a while. That was really cool. I got to do finish work, which is like the painting and sanding. So I didn't get to do the painting, but I got to do the in-between stages of sanding and buffing and doing all this, really cool stuff, doing the little trim lines and everything. But I basically started having reactions to the paint, so I had to leave. So that sucked. But I learned all these cool things about guitar, so I figured I'd pass that along to everybody else. So yeah, this is what I do when I'm going to clean it. So I'm just going to fast forward it. I figured there's a good jillion tutorials out there on how to restring your guitars. You don't need to see that. I'm just gonna speed it through. So hope everybody has a great day. If you had any guitar questions, feel free to ask. If I have the answer, I will give it. So here we go. Make sure you loosen your strings in case you don't know. First one down. Okay, strings all off. A reminder, if you have a bridge like this, it will come off because the string tension is what holds it. So don't pull your string out and let it across the top of your guitar because you probably could scratch or chip your paint off. Outside of that, just hold on to it. It should kind of stay there. If it's not old, it should stay pretty snug, but if you stand up with the guitar, it's gonna fall off. Anyways, you can see all my kind of crusty gunk in there now. See? Gross. One thing I did want to point out, because I didn't think to say this earlier, is that when you get all your strings off, let me show you. Up here in the nut of the guitar, basically you can use graphite, simple pencil, And you go in there, and I do this every time I restring them. You just go and you color in some, and you can tell the strings that I've played on the most because it's all missing. But basically, the graphite acts as like a lube almost. So it just helps the strings to slide through there better and not catch, and less possible breakage, and a little bit less friction on the nut so it doesn't like crack over time if it's a plastic one. I mean, it still can, but it just helps. If it can, you know, if it's plastic, it can snap. I guess the bone ones could too. It's less likely. Squeal. There's sharp strings in here, girl. Another thing that I do is when I'm taking all the strings out, I set them up, the broken ones up in the guitar case for now. Because for one, the little tips can break off and there can be little sharp brittle pieces. But for two, my cats always try to eat them. So if they're up there, they don't notice them. They're just like down in there. Unless, of course, she goes to crawl in the case, which she's probably going to keep trying to do. So I'm just going to close this up for right now. Like that. Now, so what I'm going to do is, here, scoot this back some so you can kind of see. I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol. And for right now, just because my pickups have gotten so dirty, I'm just going to take a little paper towel and get a little rubbing alcohol in there. I don't know if you can see, it's like a little spot. Anyways, I'm just going to kind of scrub these down. Now, unfortunately, my pickups have started to get a little corrosion on them. It's gonna happen, but because they're like gold plated though, that means they'll start to look really crappy. Which frustrates my OCD. I should have done this a lot earlier, but that's okay. You can't probably tell in the, yeah, you can't see it in the lighting, but my plating's actually starting to come off in the middle of my bridge and up here, and on a lot of the pieces of this, like it's letting go. Which is partly because I rub it down every day. But I like to keep it clean. I'm not the messy musician, I'm the very clean musician. You know, do what you like and whatever suits you, but I like clean. Unfortunately, once your plating starts to go, it just kind of looks like poop. I don't know if you can, oh, I should be careful because that'll fall off. You can kind of see, like, see that spot? That's where it's coming off, and you can't tell because of the way the lighting's hitting it, but these are actually silvered out. They're starting to wear down, but hey, you know, me and Alabaster have been together for like 3 years now, so that just means a lot of playing, you know, so. Anyways, though, so if your frets are dirty, which mine kind of are, not the wood, but the little, I forget what these are called for some reason. The little fret actual bars in between, I don't know, I don't remember what they're called, but they can get a little grimy. If you actually are, you know, fancy and at a guitar shop, what they would do is take the buffing wheel with a harder wheel and compound, and they go over these, and it would shine them right up, and they would look super snazzy, and it would shine up your fretboard and kind of seal it. But I'm just going to do a little scrub with the rubbing alcohol just to get out any general extra finger oil and crud, because I know that I'm going to re-oil this, so I'm not worried about pulling moisture out of my fretboard. And also because it's just, I'm not worried about it. I oil it every time I do this, so it's okay. If you're not going to oil it, I probably want to do this. I'd probably just wipe it down. But you see, it's like, can you see it's like dirty? Because it's gross. Your frets just get dirty and they get worn, and you know, oh my god, I'm starting to get divots. That's like impressive. I mean, that's not good because eventually I'll have to refret everything, but it is good at the same time because that means I've been playing. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do there is just that, and just take my paper towel and kind of get the extra crud, and then I'll get in here fine toothing it in a minute with my Q-tips, but I'm just trying to, you know, get out the extra stuff. I need an air can to get up underneath the plate. There's definitely dust under there, but I don't have one right now, but that's okay. The goal is just to decrud everything and get it nice and clean and shiny again, and just not leave any stuff that could cause damage to the finish, or, you know, although this is a polyester finish, so you can't really damage it. I mean, you can, you know, if you throw a brick at it, you're gonna have a chip. But as far as like, I mean, it's even, it is, acetone doesn't take it off. You have to literally sand it off. So if you have a polyester finish like this and not a lacquer finish, you can pretty much use almost anything, but I wouldn't recommend using corrosive material. You don't need any of that unless you've got, like, I don't know, chicken grease fingers or something. Like, if you're never ever wiping it down and always touching it with dirty hands, I mean, I guess, you know, or if you spilled something gross on it, then, but otherwise, I wash my hands before I play anyways. That probably sounds ridiculous, but I wasn't joking about being really clean. Specifically to keep it as nice as possible. But hey, my strings last a lot longer than most people's because of that, because I don't have oil just, like, you know, corroding them. So consider that, you know, I guess. I'm just gonna take a little fresh thing of rubbing alcohol and wipe down my tuning pegs. I just want everything as clean and unoiled as possible, and just, you know, refreshed. You get stuff, you know, on there. I don't know, things splashed. You sneeze, maybe. I don't know. You know, just you're using it every day. It gets your body oils and stuff on it. So I just like to wipe it down and make sure it's good and clean. And actually, the funny thing is that I don't like the Viva paper towels are really soft, and that's why I use them. But they kind of leave like a weird, I don't know, they leave like prints and stuff, whereas a normal paper towel wouldn't with the rubbing alcohol. So like I'll end up, after I wash the cloth, just wiping everything back down just to get rid of like the smudgy spots, because there'll be smudges from the rubbing alcohol, which is weird because it doesn't do that with anything else, but you know, it's okay. Anyways, okay, so Q-tip time. Q-tip. Hair rubbing alcohol. And just get down in between, like here, for example, in this little crevice, and all around these, they're just like dirt catch-alls. It just sits down there. Now, if it's really gross, like you have a bunch of like dusty, sandy, for whatever the reason, stuff in there, I would recommend switching out a lot so you're not scratching up your finish or putting corrosion. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, see, there's some like sandy dust stuff. It's kind of hard for you to see. I don't know, but anyways. So I'm gonna switch to a new one as I go to the next pickup. You don't really have to do this for everything if you wipe down your guitar regularly anyways, like I do, because then it doesn't have all this stuff built up. It's only in like the stupid little spots that you just haven't been able to really get, you know? You like that one? See, that one's extra dirty, see it? It's because it's where you're picking, so you're flaking off all your skin flesh there. One more. Now this guy's a little tricky, because you kind of just have to go around everything, and you don't want to get it too wet because you don't want to pull out any lubricant that might be in there. I don't know if there actually is. It's a good question, but there tends to be. So for most things, so I just do it quick and just. And then I use the paper towel to like get up underneath there, because there's always like dusty gunk under there too. See, that was really dirty. Gross. It tends to be like corrosion coming off from the plating, I guess. I don't know why, but that's what it tends to look like. So I'm just gonna rub everything down one more time. Try to make sure I got out any of the dust and such things. This is why an air can would be nice, because you can like blow in between the different weird little things that are going on here and make sure you knocked everything out. Otherwise, I'm going to come back around here, like I said, with my little rag once it's clean. My knobs and stuff don't really get dirty or anything. It's mostly just the area where you're constantly playing. So now I will go ahead and use the linseed oil. Okay, so like I was saying, paper towel, and then you got your oiled linseed oil, and you're just gonna take a little bit. You do not need a lot. Just like fold this into a little square, get it up here where I can see what I'm doing. See, like, I might do a little more than that once I get like halfway up, you'll see. Okay, so then I just kind of go all the way around. You'll see, like you'll see how it's glossy and then it's flat, kind of like how shiny it is right there. That's, you know, so I just go in circles. And then I just go all the way back down. Now make sure on the bottom area where you start that you get over this a lot and kind of keep working it up, because it's the wettest first and then it's the driest up at the top. So I'll just like keep, you know, circling. Just doing this. I actually love the way this stuff smells. Linseed oil smells great. It's like kind of sweet. It's nice. So then I'll flip it over, get a dry side. Just work it back down. So after I've done that, I will get another fresh paper towel. Make sure you've closed your bottle of linseed oil, and I will just keep going over this until it's not really pulling up much. So I know it's soaked down mostly, and that I don't just have a whole lot of extra oil sitting on top of the fretboard, because that will make trying to play very complicated. Just get your strings all oily, and then it's a big old mess. You can still see where it's the fret corrosion. So then what I do is I just kind of start going horizontally and making sure that I got everything down in between where the frets meet, because that'll be like where it holds the most oil. And just like keep doing this all the way down. Yeah, and now you can see, look at that. It looks nice. It's not too glossy like it was, but it definitely has shine. You can tell there's definitely moisture in the wood. If you look at your fretboard and it looks super like matte and dry and like cracked, you need to oil that sucker. Like if it has a nice shine to it, not like high gloss, but like a nice, like, see, there's like some nice sheen going on. Like it's wood, but it's not, you know, it's not like this because it shouldn't be, but it isn't dry with obviously no reflection. There should be light reflection. That's the goal. And you know, it's got some oil in it, okay? Anyways, okay, I'm gonna restring this and then I'll be done and ready to try out a fresh guitar outside of buffing it down. But that's, you know, you don't have to do that. That's just something I like to do. Mostly the purpose is to get all the gunk out of around the main playing area. You know, the rest of it's gonna touch your body and your skin, and you know, you're gonna get dirty arm marks and stuff unless you're wearing sleeves all the time. But I'm in Florida, most of the time armpits all up on here, you know, so it's anyways, time to restring. Okay, so now, freshly stringed, need to go tune it, and it's roughly sort of in tune. My favorite part is chopping these suckers off. As soon as you're done, just, yeah, this is great. One thing I forgot to say is that when you're getting ready to put your new strings on, your little tuning pegs up here, it helps a lot if before you start to put the strings on, you turn them all, I should have shown you before, but I wasn't thinking about it, where the little hole basically that the string goes through, they're all facing pretty much towards the direction that the channels are coming from, or straight. Because if you get ready to put the strings through, then you realize the hole is facing, like, you know, horizontally in the other direction, and then you gotta sit there and mess with it, and you gotta do it on the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So it's better if you're just, as soon as you take all the old strings off, just straighten them all out, even if they're totally straight. It makes it easier to just boop, push a little thing through, do your twist, and, you know, tighten tune, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish this up. I gotta tune it and chop these off, and then good to go. That is Chelsea's Guitar Maintenance 101. When you're gonna do a super clean, anyways. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'm gonna go play now.